Hooker from San Diego, graduating with a bachelor's in business admin, Josiah Lawifui. A winger hailing from Los Alamitos, graduating with a bachelor's in business admin and business accounting, Nate Left. Nate is accompanied by his parents, Ileana and Bob, and siblings, Ryan, Noah, and Josh. from Castiatic, graduating with a Bachelor's of Accountancy and Finance and Accounting, with a minor in International Business, Hunter Weissel. Hunter is accompanied by his brother Lance. 8-man from San Diego, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Environmental Studies and a minor in Visual Arts, Sula Minmin. The Lock from Bethesda, Maryland, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Applied Math and a minor in Naval Sciences, Teddy Montague. Teddy is accompanied by his family, Adriana, Josh, and Brendan. Now, the flanker from Redlands, graduating with a Bachelor's in Business Admin and Real Estate and a minor in Chemistry, J.D. Morey. The fullback from Orange, California, graduating with a Bachelor in Business Admin and a minor in Information Systems and Technology, Diego Puglisi. Center from Hermosa Beach, graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, a concentration in cybersecurity, and minors in Philosophy and Information Technology Management, Dean Rapetti. Dean is accompanied by his parents, Giselle and Paul, and his brother James. Hooker from La Jolla, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Economics, Max Sains. Max is accompanied by his mother, Cheryl, sister Olivia, and his best pets, Cameron and Camille. Gotta love the tutus.
You cannot help
Center from Portland, Oregon, graduating with a Bachelor's in Accountancy with a minor in Finance, Danny Sir. Danny is accompanied by his parents, Trisha and Ed.
Here's some Gatorade. Don't get on my pad. Stay away from me. Stay in your room.
And last, but certainly not least, the 8-man from Concord, graduating with a Bachelor in Business Admin and Finance and Real Estate. Your team's president, Dennis White. Dennis is accompanied by his parents, Tracy and Eddie.
She's in a good spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up once more for USD Rugby's graduating class of 2026. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out on this wonderful Friday night to Manchester Village Field for this collegiate Division 1A rugby matchup between the visiting Zoomies of the United States Air Force Academy and your home, University of San Diego Toreros. The match will be underway in just a few moments. A reminder, bathrooms are up on the softball field in the small complex there. And if you have any donations for Operation Bowtie supporting the homeless air shelter in San Diego, please come make your donations here at the information center. Sergeant Morgan and supported by Midshipman Kincaid, Elizondo, LaVoy, and Dickey. Please remain standing until the colors fully return.
Just benches there.
No, TVX Sports. TVX Sports. Nice broadcast. 2 men in their service.
All right, welcome friends, family, and everyone else watching tonight. We are here on Manchester Field for a very special D1A contest. USD hosting the Air Force Academy. It is senior night here at USD. Some very special players will be playing their final game at Manchester Field. We're excited to be here. It's a beautiful evening for rugby. It's still 70 degrees. Scott's still in his board shorts. Scott, welcome to Manchester Field.
Great to be here, Kevin. Friday night rugby action here in Manchester Field. It's a difficult task for the Toreros here. The emotions of senior night. If you're a senior yourself or just seeing some of your teammates you've grown close to, understanding it's their last match at Manchester Field can be tough, but you got to put that aside because we're kicking off. We're going to play some rugby here.
Yep, and briefly, before we get into the USD seniors, Air Force seniors playing tonight. John Sartelli, Franz Abagat, Cole Norrie, and Micah Frigard representing Air Force Academies on the senior side. Excited to see those guys in what might be their final 15s match. For the Toreros tonight on the field, number 2, Josiah Laifi, the hooker, has been a standout all season. Teddy Montague at lock, going to run the line out tonight. Standout senior for USD. Sam Carlson, the captain. Few have achieved what he's achieved in the USD rugby jersey. Nate Leff at wing, Chase Basson the other wing, and Dan Surr at fullback. And we have some seniors coming off the bench tonight. As we're kicking off here at Manchester Field, Scotty, we have 80 minutes of action in front of us as an early knock-on from Air Force puts them under pressure.
Yeah, it's not how the Zoomies wanted to start this match, but a good high ball there from Kieran Downs to get the Toreros started on Manchester Field. And we'll have a first look at this scrum here. Close to the 22, if not inside of it, Kevin.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of the Zoomies thus far this year, but I can tell this by looking at this pack is fit. They're going to be physical, and being a service academy, you can guarantee they're going to fight for 80 minutes. So the Toreros certainly have their work cut out for them, and it all starts with this first scrum. Kellen Archibald with the put in. We have a rare all East Coast halfback pairing, Scott. Kellen Archibald from Connecticut at 9 and Kieran Downs from DC at 10. You don't have to see that for a West Coast team.
Massachusetts got myself, Kevin. Love to see that.
Here's Downs out to Briggs. Loose ball back to Habib. Throws a big dummy. He's in space, and the ball's gone over Chase Basson's head. Good intent there from the Toreros, but couldn't quite convert there on the edge. Like what you see, though, Scott.
Yeah, it was a good action there. A good set piece from the Toreros. A little too much air under that last pass from Paul Habib, but maybe he might have got hit on the arm there affecting that pass. Been watching too much March Madness. I'm calling for a foul on that one, but it's clear play in rugby, so we're going to see our first line out from Air Force.
Air Force. Clean throw to the start, but that's judged not straight by referee Jenny Liu. So the Toreros will have an option here. That scrum seemed like a stable platform, so it does seem like they'll indeed be going back to that again. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us off the bench as seniors later today, Max Signs at hooker. Very special, impactful player. J.D. Maury, what a story he is for the Toreros, as well as Dean Rapetti coming off the bench in the centers. It is a senior-studded lineup tonight. We're excited to see these guys perform in their final time at USD here at Manchester Field, as we have Archibald ready for the put-in. Jenny Liu didn't like what she saw there. We'll reset. Big boys packing down here now, ready to get the shove on. Good contest from both sides. Nice stable platform. Archibald out to Downs now. Through Basson on a nice loop play. Quick carry there from Carlson into some ferocious Air Force defense. Zoomies are over the ball but lose their feet. Archibald perhaps looking for the quick tap. No, we're going to slow things down here, Scott.
Yeah, I actually like the tap there for Archibald. It looked like he was there quickly, and it didn't look like all the Zoomies were back 10 as quickly as they should have been. So I think he might have had an opportunity there, but instead it looks like the Toreros are going to slow the ball down, maybe go back to a scrum here, centered in the field.
We're going to scrum again here, so USD perhaps seeing that the platform there is solid, and what they have here, Scott, in this midfield scrum is you can attack either direction, right? So it's going to put a lot of strain on this Air Force defense, and the world is their oyster right now for the Toreros.
Yeah, right you are. And you know, after referee Lewis saw both sides of the scrum here, looking for that bind, looking for no indirect shoves or early shoves there by the props, and nice quick ball out.
Archibald to Downs. Briggs behind the back to Sir, who perhaps could have given that, but he's kept the ball. Air Force again with a pretty ferocious counter ruck, but well cleared by the Toreros. Brandon Guducho getting close to the try line here. We're probably going to keep it in tight with the big boys as Wyatt Boswell has a good carry. Air Force again over the ball, and that's spilled by Torres Capoose. And a great opportunity here for Air Force to clear their lines. Ball played out. That's a strong carry, but stronger tackle as well from the Toreros. The Zoomies choosing to run the ball outside their own 22, and they are in space here. That's a great carry by the 10, Cole Norrie. The Zoomies are not afraid to play in the shadow of their own goalpost, Scott. We can see that early on.
That was a fantastic springing run there.
Clean
Cole
stolen
Norrie
there from Guducci. And the Toreros are on the front foot again. Downs flat ball to Basson. Judged to be flat by the ref. Josiah Laffey, I tell you what, these Zoomie defenders are up for the challenge so far, Scott. They are coming up fast. They're coming up hard.
Quick, stout defense. They're getting reset very quickly. Let's see how long they can maintain.
Indeed. They've had a lot of defensive work already this half as Boswell has a good attack there through the middle of the defense. Not rolling away there from the Zoomies. And Archibald this time is quick tapping to Downs in a little bit of space. Feeds Basson. Basson well tackled out there on the edge. Brandon Guducci close to an obstruction there, but not given. Taken through there by the 8-man Cox. Kellen Archibald surveying his options. That's big Cody going with a really strong carry again. The Toreros are inside of 10 meters. Ball played out to Guiducci. Cleared by the Toreros. Flat ball to Habib, who's found a bit of space, perhaps looking for an offload, but again, the Zoomies defense is too strong, Scott.
Yeah, fit tacklers here coming in at aggressive pace.
Grubber through by Downs. Looks like Air Force might have beaten him back. That's number 14, Evan Wells, who did a really good job to get back there and place that ball down. I think we'll have a goal line drop here for the Zoomies. I think Downs just kind of forced to go to the kick there, Scott, because there's nothing else on. The Zoomies defense is coming up so fast.
The Zoomies defense, specifically the wingers, have had their work cut out from them in very tall order, but they've done fantastic here. As you see, it looks like
outstanding work from the wing there. That's Evan Wells. That's a really good job from him to get back to that ball first. That's such a hard turn there, right, Scott? You have the other player coming as fast as he can down that sideline. You have to turn and then beat him to the ball. Wells did a really good job there.
That's a try-saving effort.
Off the side of the foot there, and I think possibly knocked. We have an Air Force ball here inside the 22.
Yeah, not a great reset on the goal line drop there, unfortunately, for Air Force.
Air Force, I think, now going to set their lines to kick after that run out earlier. That's a good nudge to reset to get just outside the 22. That's that 10 again, Cole Norrie. He's had a really good match so far and a good decision there just to settle things down. They've absorbed so much pressure inside their 22. Reset, compete at the line out now.
Yeah, the Air Force Zoomies have bent but not broken here. Almost 7 consecutive minutes of pressure down in the zone. Remember how the game started, Kevin? It was that knock-on off the reset. So Air Force have been done very well to keep the Toreros out of their try zone.
Toreros set the maul here now, one of their most dangerous weapons on attack. Zoomies disrupting pretty well thus far, but the Torero maul remains going forward. That's Laufi now breaking off the side. Boswell now with the carry. Such a big body, so explosive, hard to contain him. Now here's Kapust. Rumbling even closer to the try line. Zoomie caught on the wrong side of the ruck here. Does well not to disrupt play. That's Guiducci in a little bit of space. Now here's the play to Kieran Downs. The fly half takes it himself.
Rip.
Zoomies steal the ball. The defensive effort from the Zoomies remains outstanding. They have another chance to clear their lines. And again, they're playing from their own goal line. And spilled to touch. It might have been on there, but a good reaction there from the Toreros and Chase Basson to force that loose pass, but the Zoomies looked like they might have been away for a 100-yard try there, Scott.
Yeah, they had numbers. It looked to be at least a 3-on-1 here in this near sideline for us. Unfortunately, the pass out to the wing went just off the fingertips and into touch here, so it will be a line out for the Toreros. But credit to the Zoomies now going into the 9th minute, keeping the Toreros off the scoreboard.
Yeah, defense is good, and the intent is even better, Scott. The intent to attack from your own goal line. You have to love that from the Zoomies so far. Here's Montague taking the ball now. Sasha Cox peeling off. Played to Habib in a bit of space. Very dangerous runner for the Toreros is Paul Habib, and Kellen Archibald looking to recycle now. Boswell charging onto it again. Well met by the Zoomies. And here's Kapust, such a strong big ball carrier. Archibald with a bit of sloppy ball. They're now feeding Sasha Cox. Toreros with a bit of space on this weak side. If Archibald can recognize it, looping pass. That's Sir to Basson, who must be in for the Toreros' first try of the game. But that's 9 minutes of really hard defensive work there from Air Force, Scott.
Extremely high effort from the Zoomies there to do as well as they did, so a ton of credit to them. But ultimately, it's going to be Basson, the senior here on senior night, crashing the ball over for 5 points in the Toreros.
You can see the replay here.
These
Well
spaces
spotted.
built over and over and over again. As you said, Kevin, space on the weak side here. So the ball came into Sir, and just a quick little pass here was enough for the defense to finally break. Chase Basson getting in, almost a big sigh of relief you can see on his face. Oh, boy. They had to earn that try.
Absolutely, yeah. Just ferocious Air Force defense for 10 minutes. Just couldn't quite clear their lines. But now they can, right? Although they've conceded the try, we'll have the kickoff now, and it's their opportunity to exert pressures upon the Toreros. So it's going to be up to them now to exit clean and play more in the Air Force half. Again, that Air Force defense has looked so strong. And you know with the Service Academy, Scott, they're not going to run out of energy here. They're going to be coming for 80 minutes, ready to play, as Downs sets up this conversion list to make it 7-0.
Yeah, unfortunately, I know all too well, having played against Army a couple of times in my days, Kevin. These guys do not get tired. They do not quit.
Here's Downs now setting up his kick. Striking through, and that's curling. That's through. That's a wonderful kick from Kieran Downs.
Yeah, fantastic strike there by Downs. You could get a good shot of it from our cameras here at TVX. The ball curling back through the post for a full 7 points for the Toreros.
All right, Zoomies coming up now to kick off. We have a little bit of ball confusion as one's getting tossed off the field, one's getting put back on the field. That's Joe Cisneros with a sloppy kick that's going absolutely nowhere, delaying the game perhaps.
Might be a penalty against the Toreros if he does that again.
I think it probably should be for a kick that bad.
I think that's what they teach you in Oceanside, though.
All right, we have Air Force ready to kick off here. Based on numbers, I'd say they're kicking off to the right. Cole Norrie looking to hang this ball up in the air. That's a really good kickoff. That's tough to deal with for Sasha Cox. Well taken there, though, under a lot of pressure.
Look for a quick exit here from the Toreros, Kevin.
Yep, setting up a box kick here from the 9. That's Kellen Archibald. That's going to be a tough kick for Air Force to deal with. And it looked like Will Briggs was first on the scene. Knocked forward by Briggs there, though. So Air Force, best attacking opportunity of the day by far here, Scott. They'll have a scrum right on midfield. And that scrum has been a good platform for both teams so far, it seems like. So look for them to attack here.
Yeah, I'm watching Cole Norrie here, Kevin. He's been the danger man for the Air Force. He's a very skilled individual, as you can see. He's directing his pack here. He's talking to his scrum half. He's got his back line here set up for a set piece. So I'm going to be watching him very closely as the scrum comes together.
And interesting, Air Force seems to be putting the ball in on their tight head side of the scrum, which isn't common, but perhaps just trying to get a better feed into it. Scrum's gone down, but ball's out clean. Played through the backs, a little bit of footwork, but well met there at the midfield. That was Habib, but I think he took him over horizontal. So we'll be kicking to touch here, likely from the Zoomies.
Yeah, unfortunate for Habib there. It looked like he got a good piece of contact on his man, but
that might miss touch, Scott. That's going to be close. Oh, just out. Nate left it his best to keep that ball in, but that ball's gone to touch. First Air Force line out here in opposition territory.
Yeah, it was a great nudge by Norrie there. We're going to call his name again. That's a tough kick for clearance. You're at the center of the field, and you cannot make that any easier on yourself. So sometimes kickers will offer a little bit less distance to find touch, but Norrie trusted his skills. Made it close, a little bit probably too close for comfort, but ultimately did find touch to keep Air Force in control with this line out.
Yep, let's see what the Zoomies cook up here. Norrie looks like not at first receiver. We might be feeding the ball direct to 12. That's Benjamin Bryant. We're keeping the ball in tight there, though, and indeed it does get to Bryant. And out, the Toreros are doing well to come up, though, there. This has been a defensive battle so far, Scott.
Yeah, that's a big, tough runner there. That's Broder Kawhi. Looks like he's a tough customer, big, hard, big, strong fella. Hard to take him down.
Yeah, these Air Force guys have not been missing the squat, Scott. You can tell by looking at them that these guys have been hitting the weight room hard. This is a fit, well-dripped team. And perhaps recognizing some space in the backfield here. But just a bit slow off the back of the ruck. And I think we have offside. We've got a quick tap here. That's Norrie again into space. Such a shifty player. Knocked backwards from Guiducci. We might have a man down for the Toreros. Good cover tackle there from Chase Passon. Zoomies had a good overlap there. The Zoomies are on attack here, Scott. You like what you see from this offense so far from these guys.
Tenacious attack. They're not quitting. They're not giving up. They made the most of that penalty there. Norrie's very dangerous here. He can make a lot of things happen on the rugby field.
Tackle well made there by Carlson, the senior. Zoomies getting set up again. That ball's a bit high, tough to deal with. The Toreros have stripped it, but looks like that ball went backwards, so we'll play on. Still a little space out here wide. That's a great crunching tackle from the captain, Sam Carlson. That's how you set an example.
Yeah, it might be a little captain on captain crime there.
Cody going with the strong tackle there, meeting the Zoomies at the gain line. We have 30 guys who are ready to tackle tonight, Scott. This is fantastic to watch.
It's a Friday night rumble, baby.
It absolutely is. And we have a high tackle, I believe, there from the Toreros. So let's see what the Zoomies choose to do here. We might have another kick to touch, but again, like you mentioned, we are in the center of the field, so it might be hard to make touch.
Yeah, Kawhi looks like he's like 6'4", 6'5". How do you tackle him high?
That's going to make touch, but not a huge amount of territory gain there. But certainly a good platform here from the Zoomies, and this forward pack prop ready to go to work.
Yeah, you can see the takeoff speed here by the Zoomies, just getting their jumper up quickly and up high, elevating to the highest point so the hooker can throw exactly where he needs to.
Yeah, we have John Freeman, the hooker here, ready to get this ball into play. The Toreros defense is certainly going to put pressure on this line, not getting Teddy Monago up in the air.
Simple.
Could not catch that clean, and that's Laufey. Now back to Downs, who spun it. That's Briggs to Sir, to Leff. Leff is dangerous in space. The dummy, and now given. Briggs is collected somehow off the deck. Habib now playing cook to Guducci, to Montague. Oh, the Zoomies might have dove over it and disrupted it, but we're still going to keep going. And as we keep going, that's Cody going with a massive carry. Ball is slowed down a bit now, but that's Downs. Carlson in a bit of space, but he's bundled into touch. Good recovery defense there from the Zoomies, but we had a penalty advantage there for that ruck we talked about earlier. Will Briggs screaming for the ball, perhaps recognizing some space. Toreros are going to calm things down.
What action there, Kevin. Maybe we'll get a nice replay from TVX, but how quickly that happened for the Toreros. Toreros dangerously spun that ball all the way around, flipped the field right when you thought the Zoomies were in a good spot. Here are the Toreros looking to attack inside the 22 and extend their lead. And
that's Downs putting things within 5 meters of the try line. So a big test here now for the Zoomies defense. This USD Mall is a strong attacking opportunity. Let's see if they get this ball into Montague and push this ball over the line.
Yeah, I say this almost every broadcast, Kevin, but a well-trained technical rolling maul is the hardest thing to stop in rugby. To do so legally is even harder.
Indeed, and the Toreros are well met thus far by the Zoomies, but they're inching forward. Looks like that maul has been collapsed, though. So we do have another penalty here for the Toreros.
The key word was legally, Kevin, but so the Air Force were able to stop it right there, and that's fantastic that they were able to do that, but it looks like Ref Jenny just saw something she didn't like at the very end there, so it looks like we're going to have some good old...
What do we have here, Scotty? What do we have here?
American rugby football at its finest on a Friday night.
One of the most exciting plays in sports. The tap penalty. Capoose is met by 4 or 5 Zoomies. Works that. And he's in.
I think
that's
that was
Josiah Lahufi on senior night.
I think that was a little deceit at the very end there for the Toreros, Kevin. I didn't get a great look at it. Caught me off guard. It looks like it caught the Zoomies off guard as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Would love to see the replay there. That initial ruck just had so many bodies in it, and somehow Josiah just kind of squirted through. So here's K-Boost on the big carry. You have your whole front row there carrying the ball.
Picked there right on the edge by
just
Laufey.
no one in front of him.
Yeah, I think they thought he was just there to secure the ruck and do what my high school called ruck inspection, but instead he was in a legal picking position, picked, and just went right in over the line for another 5 points.
Every team needs a ruck inspector.
It was my specialty.
Every team needs one. All right, we have Karen Downs here with a good opportunity to make things 14-0. Scotty, it just came down to that missed line out here on the other side of the pitch for the Zoomies, right? They were attacking so well. One missed opportunity there to line out. The Toreros did well to move that ball quick to left. All of a sudden, they're in the attacking third.
Yeah, and left was screaming onto that ball. You heard the cheer from this excellent crowd we have on Manchester Field.
That's Downs straight through. That ball might have rolled under the USD trolley. That one might have popped. Hopefully we'll get that one back. The Zoomies ready to come back up again. Certainly, it's 14-0, but it's been pretty even, you'd have to say, in open play, Scott. You know, no one's really had more breaks on their team or broken the game line more. It's just been pretty physical rugby, and Torero's probably just executing that set piece a little bit cleaner than the Zoomies so far.
Yeah, you can see how dynamic this college rugby matchup has been so far tonight, Kevin. Air Force, you can definitely see the danger that they have. So certainly not out of this match by any stretch of the imagination.
Cole Norrie's looked incredibly dangerous so far tonight. If he gets the ball in his hand a little bit more, Toreros are in trouble. Oh, Sasha Cox spilled. Good defense again there by the Zoomies, and again, they're on the attack.
Yeah, here's the opportunity for the Zoomies there. So a great reset kick from Norrie goes to Sasha Cox, the freshman. Unfortunately, lost the ball forward in contact, so this will be a scrum down to Air Force.
Yep, another scrum opportunity here for Air Force. Looks like Norrie's back at that first receiver spot. His centers are big, right? Especially that 13, Micah Frigard. That's a strong ball carrier. That's someone you might not want to tackle on a dark night on Manchester Field. So let's see what the Zoomies choose to do. Ball is spun out. That's Norrie now. A bit of space if he moves it, but that's a looping pass. It's going to give the Toreros time to get over there. And the Toreros bundle him into touch, but I think we have a penalty for maybe a high tackle again, Scott.
Yeah,
Zoomies ball.
Unfortunately for Toreros, there's a good wrap up there, maybe even a double tackle there to drive the man into touch. So a lot of excitement there on the sideline, but unfortunately, something must have been done illegally.
Yeah, let's see this big looping pass. Just, I think, a little too slow there for the Zoomies to get the ball to the wing. That's the danger man, Evan Wells, in a bit of space. Carrying well. Yeah, I think Habib just got a little high there.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Toreros, looks like you had the opposition where you wanted them. It seemed like you were able to stop that set piece. And set piece defense, Kevin, tonight, I talked to Coach Purden before the game, said set piece defense tonight, coming off this matchup against Cal Poly Slow. It's going to be a big part of the emphasis tonight for the Toreros.
Absolutely here, and let's see if the Zoomies can connect on this line out. No, it's going over again, but they're first to the ball. So still on the attack here for Air Force. Ball is spun out wide. Toreros putting some pressure on the breakdown. Going back to the weak side now. Have the numbers advantage. Good dominant tackle there by Toreros to keep them in their tracks.
Big hits here on the wing.
Cody going, putting a shot in. We're out there on the wide channels now. Air Force, a lot of field to play with. They're keeping it in tight though. Toreros again, contesting the breakdown. These Air Force runners are strong. They're coming onto the ball at pace. It's a difficult defensive assignment for the Toreros. That's Norrie calling his own number. Toreros do well to meet him at the line. And we have another penalty. The Toreros getting themselves into a lot of trouble here. That's an offside penalty. Let's see if the Zoomies look for points here to get on the scoreboard.
Yeah, another avoidable penalty for the Toreros. So,
and indeed, we're going for the posts.
Coach Purden's going to
get to play my favorite game of who's got the tee, known amongst college rugby.
No, it looks like head coach is now calling this off, and they're opting to go for touch, Kevin. If I misread that, it's possible, but
some signals. Now we're going to touch. I like that. All right, let's be aggressive. Good deal. We're just making the ARs work here. Jeff Nolan sprinting to under the post and then back to the sideline.
Great top speed by Nolan to get in position here.
Okay, kick to touch there by Norrie. Another opportunity to execute here from the Zoomies. If they can just take this ball clean here, Scott, they're in a good opportunity.
You know, and I love what Air Force is doing on the line out. A lot of times you'll see deception, you'll see a lot of movement here. Air Force isn't doing any of that. They're just saying, hey, we got some tall boys lifting them. We're going to do it quickly. Stop us if you can.
Absolutely here. Zoomies taken clean. Spinning the ball out now. Big carry through the midfield. That is a massive, massive carry there by the Zoomies. And the Zoomies bench is fired up. Cole Norrie now in space. I think he's just going to carry himself, put his foot down. Well done by the Zoomies to secure the ball there. Oh, and that's spilled in contact there, but backwards. But the Toreros over the ball. Here we go, the Zoomies relentless on attack, spinning the ball out wide. This is a well-executed attacking pattern so far. These guys are running hard lines, these guys are finding space, and they're putting a lot of pressure on this Toreros defense.
Yeah, that was a great tackle by Carlson right there too. That was one-on-one in open field. If he misses that tackle, that's a try for Air Force. So well done by senior captain Sam Carlson.
Good job. Another big tackle there. I think that's Cody going.
It's gotta be.
Looking pretty fired up after laying in a big shot. But the Zoomies attack continues to put pressure on. Resetting here. I think we might have a cross kick coming here from the Zoomies, but the ball has gone behind Cole Norrie. That ball is loose at the bottom of the ruck. That might be stolen by the Toreros, and that's wide ball as well. A loose pass to Briggs. Whoa. Someone's got to just take this ball into contact, you have to say, Scott.
Yeah, you can't be shoveling on there. It's a little dynamic moment here, but good on the Toreros. He's got to calm things down, play a phase.
The Zoomies, again, coming up so hard on defense, Scott. Let's see if the Toreros perhaps look to put a kick over the top to slow these defenders down.
Yeah, Zoomies come in unison, too. It's not like we have one blitzer here, and if he misses, the Toreros are off. These guys are coming up 2-3 guys together, making their tackles, putting a ton of pressure on the Toreros.
And that's down, saying, you know what, we've had enough of this. I'm going to put the ball down in your end. But it's the danger man here, Evan Wells, who might just be looking to carry himself. And he does break through a half gap. That's a good carry from him, but well done by Carlson to stop him in his tracks eventually. Zoomies now out to midfield. Again, using the big ball carries, but the Toreros coming up so hard in defense. That's Norrie now with the ball, spinning it wide, perhaps noticing a bit of space out there. That's Dan Sir with a good tackle in space.
It's going to be a penalty.
Were we offside there, Scott? I couldn't. Yeah, we're offside there.
You know, I think in the modern game, too, I think anytime you're going after that 9, tackling the 9 like that, more often than not, it's going to get a penalty called against you. So.
Yep, no, absolutely. And Scott, just like to remark as we have our film here, it's great to see such a fantastic crowd here at Manchester Field, especially on a Friday night, right? There's a million things you could be doing in San Diego on a Friday night when it's 85 degrees out. But to be here watching college rugby, what else would you rather do?
Yeah, the
as
fans
a man
are,
in your 30s?
Fans are absolutely being rewarded right here. This has been a fantastic match. Hard hits, heavy contests in the rucks, high-flying lineouts, big kicks, top speed. It's been great so far.
Yeah, great advertisement for college rugby so far, and you can see the fitness levels of both teams, right? Certainly the Air Force Academy very well drilled, but the Toreros up to the task as well. This has been a fast pace of play so far. Zoomies win their own lineout again, peeling off the back, moving it into space. The Zoomies attack is so multi-dimensional. They're attacking in space, they're attacking in tight, they're attacking out wide, and their big ball carriers are frequently breaking the gain line.
Yeah, Franz Abigat's doing a great job down there. Perfect size scrum half. Low to the ground, low man wins. He's been doing fantastic recycling the ball for his team.
That's Will Briggs with a good tackle to stop the Zoomies in their tracks. Brandon Guiducci coming right through the middle there. Good desperate tackle there from Torres Capust. Zoomies, a little frustration, I think, about something there. You could hear that perhaps on the broadcast, but we're resetting here, and a good job to keep their ball. It's just relentless, Scott, right? It's how many phases are you willing to attack as the Zoomies just keep pounding that Torero line.
Numbers here maybe for the Zoomies.
Sam Carlson, again, has done such a good job in that that space in between the tight defenders and the wings. He's done a really good job of shutting that down, which is a hard assignment.
I saw Nate Left coming up for a blitzing hit there.
Yep.
I thought we might have had a big one, but it wasn't a big.
He was fired up, couldn't quite get there. I think we have, again, maybe a call for a crossfield kick here. This has to be 20-plus phases here from the Zoomies, Scotty. This is, and we do see it now. Oh, that ball's dangling up. Ooh, that's awkward.
Difficult assignment there for the Toreros defense.
Well done by Bassan and Sir to get there.
Bassan did a couple things really well there, Kevin. If we have it on a replay, you'll be able to see it. But as the ball was in the air, he wasn't watching the ball, which is what you normally want to do, but he was actually marking the wing to make sure, and you're going to see it on this replay here, potentially. So you have Bassan here, checked over his shoulder right before he's in frame there to kind of box out his man legally, to do so legally. That was such an important play so that when the ball bounced, he knew exactly where his man was. It was an awkward bounce, but a favorable bounce for the Toreros, and it looks like they were putting it down. It's going to be a penalty, though, for that tackle.
I think we had that high tackle in goal, so we're going to come back to a penalty there. But that cross kick is a dangerous weapon for the Zoomies. They go back to that. That's, I mean, something which you have nightmares about that if you're a fullback or a wing, right? Tracking back and desperately trying to save that.
Yeah, you have some serious athletes on this Air Force team as to be expected, and you have a lot of dangerous skill players there. So Nori putting a very tall ball up.
And that ball from Downs almost made its way into Fowler Park. That was almost a reverse home run, and it's coming back down the field and almost hitting our TVX broadcast crew.
Yeah, there is a baseball game happening right now with
really?
USD versus Gonzaga. Yeah, we're opening WCC play tonight.
It'd be a real shame if a home run came over the fence and hit Scott. It'd be a real shame.
Or I was going to say, or if that clearance kick went into left field.
Oh, that would be, yeah.
Both not good.
It can go both ways, yeah.
It can.
It actually does go both ways. Here we go. Let's have the line out here. We're going to be just outside the 22 for the Toreros, so they're not going to want to kick straight to touch here. But certainly, I'd expect maybe 1 or 2 phases and an exit here for USD.
Yeah, Air Force's jumpers here are fantastic. Old school line out here from the Air Force. They're just going to get up and make the job difficult for USD. USD, a more modern approach to the line out set piece, more movement, more deception, so we'll see what happens here.
Not clean, knocked on there by Montague. Good job by the Zoomies to put pressure on that line out.
Yeah, Toreros need to clean that up. They've been a little sloppy in places here so far, Kevin, and it's keeping Air Force in this match.
All right, here, so we'll have the Zoomies put in at the scrum again here. The scrum has looked stable, but the last couple put-ins for the Zoomies, I think the Toreros have kind of got a little bit of that shove going. So let's see if they can overpower it on this occasion. But the Zoomies certainly up to the task. Have our 9, Franz Ibegat, like you said. Perfect. Look at the 9 comparison here.
He's almost lower than the scrum, which is a compliment.
No, that's great. That's what you want to be. Archibald and Abigat, just 2 peas in the same pod there. Love to see that. Just your tiny scrum halves.
East Coast
it's a sport for everybody. It's a sport for everybody.
Yes.
And we have the Zoomies on the attack now. Again, these guys are relentless. Let's look for another just, 20-plus phase attack pattern here.
Yeah, there's about 10 Air Force players about 15 yards from the breakdown, Kevin. So it's not going to be any secret what they're going to do. They're just going to barge in at you and then reload and recycle.
Oh, and the Zoomies had the overlap there. Didn't quite notice it. You have some frustration here from the Air Force sideline, as perhaps that ball should have gone.
Yeah, frustration all around the Air Force side right here. First on the sideline, we had a call to say, hey, you got to give that ball, and then it looked like he was just trying to chase a little bit and then gave the ball, but it was after he was wrapped up in the tackle. So a lot of times, you're a young rugby player at home watching this game. If you're wrapped up like that, you're looking to offload. More often than not, might be a knock-on. So you might just want to hold on to that ball, take it to ground, and allow the ruck to win again another phase.
Yep, Toreros put in here now. Again, I think we're just outside the 22. So let's see if Downs maybe looks to find some space with a kick. Indeed, looking to find a little space, but that's to Wells again, who is a strong ball carrier. Well tackled by Briggs, but Wells has looked very dangerous. The ball in hand, and just too many movements there on the ground. He kind of crawled 5-10 yards forward, which is going to be a penalty every time.
Yeah, I saw that ruck form, and then I saw the Air Force gain another 5 meters. So, unfortunately, that's going to be an easy call for Ref Jenny there. Torero's ball now with the chance to gain some meters.
And that's Downs. That is a great touch finder, Scott. That's going to put him probably 5 meters out. And again, the Toreros, just a minute ago, were playing 20-plus phases of defense, and now all of a sudden they get that penalty, and they're playing inside the Air Force 22, 10 or so meters out. Let's see if we go back to the mall here.
Yeah, you know what, and Kieran Downs, I'm going to call this out too. Kieran Downs had a look, and he saw that there wasn't an Air Force defender there guarding that sideline, so he saw space. So even if the ball first finds the ground and bounces, even if it bounces into touch after that, it's still going to be retained by USD since it was a penalty kick. So I think Kieran saw that and felt a little bit better about putting this ball in the corner.
All right, here, put in now. That's at the front. Somehow collected by the Toreros, despite a lot of disruption from the Zoomies. We might have had a
penalty
knock.
So it was tapped back in the line. It wasn't caught cleanly by the Toreros, so it could be a penalty here. It could
be
just
an
be
obstruction
a knock.
call.
Yeah, so unfortunately for the Toreros, there a little bit more sloppiness. I think fortunately they're just going to get away with the knock call here, but it looked like once that ball was caught, the player entered into the back position of the maul. So I actually think this could have been an obstruction call for the Toreros, so a little bit of a break here.
Yep, wouldn't have been surprised to see that call. This all feeds into the pressure defense, right, Scott? It's not only an open play, it's at the set piece. They're doing so well to get set and get that body in the air, right? So much of the modern line out defensively, get a body in the air, put pressure on that ball, and the Zoomies doing a really good job of that so far defensively. Running it out again from their own goalpost.
Dodging the post.
This is dangerous here from the Zoomies. All right, and a lot of pressure. The Toreros might have turned that over, Scott. And this is why you don't attack from under your own goalpost, as USD zone the attack immediately.
Yeah.
That's Boswell getting a little high there.
This is a 2-meter chance for the Toreros there. Some space out on this wide side, Kevin.
Yeah, lots of space out here. The Zoomies are really tight defensively to try to defend these Torero ball carriers. We got to be close to the line here. We have a lot of bodies.
Whenever you see the post start to bump and jiggle, you know the boys are in close.
We might be in there. No, still.
Yes.
Oh, yes, we do have it.
Yeah,
and we do have a try. We have Sam Carlson. His try on senior night. We do have a try. There's a little bit of confusion in the stands, but hopefully the celebration now will get the people going.
Very, very delayed reaction.
Little delayed celebration. I had to go to instant replay there.
Not really sure why. So you can see all these bodies here. This is coming off the scrum, the Air Force scrum here. And when you're in this position, you almost just want to have a quick strike ball set up to kick, or you can even kick directly off the scrum. But instead, Air Force opts to play the ball in hand. And credit to the Toreros, they're able to turn the ball over quickly.
Yeah,
and
there's
the
Carlson
later on
at the bottom of the try there. And I think actually that was Chase Basson just with the clean steal there at the breakdown, Scott, which I think started that whole attacking opportunity for the Toreros. As Kieran Downs, he's not going to miss those right in front of the post. We have 21-0 Toreros. But I'll say again, Scotty, if you watch just the open play, you would think it'd be a lot closer than that, right? You'd almost think it'd be a tie game with how both these teams have met each other.
Absolutely, and the Toreros are being tested in the cardiovascular department here. Air Force is not tired.
Nope, certainly not, and let's see how we finish here. We have about 2.5 minutes left in this half. Air Force, when they've been in the Toreros half, have been dangerous, but the Toreros have just spent a bit too much time in that Zoomies 22 for their liking. And let's see if we have another really good kicker from Cole Norrie. He's put a lot of pressure on Sasha Cox. That's going long here. Hitting ground, which you never want to see if you're the Toreros. Dancer off the side of his foot, but takes a good bounce. The Zoomies now with space for a counterattack. Nate Leff got up in the Zoomies' face and looks like he's stolen the ball there near the touchline.
Yeah, great job in the crumbs there by Nate Leff, the senior.
Cody going. Another big carry. That man runs hard when he has the ball. Attacking the weak side now. That's Habib with a carry. Slow ball at the breakdown. Archibald with a little dink over the top. Who's getting that ball first? That's off the foot by Downs. And I can't quite see who's gathered it. I think that's a knock on by the Toreros. Good intent there from USD.
I love that option by the Toreros there. Just seeing a little bit of space in that back, about 10 meters back, and letting the chase go on. So a fantastic option there. Let's see, we have the ball bouncing here.
Off the foot by Downs. That's footwork right there.
A little bit of soccer by Downs there to direct the ball back into the field of play. And it looked like was that Guiducci? Montague.
Montague, and I think it was that pickup off the ground by Cox. Just a slight knock on there as he's trying to gather. Air Force scrum the under their own post. Now let's see if they can exit cleaner. I do see the 10 in the pocket. Let's hope that they're just going to hit him. No nonsense kick to touch here.
Yeah, and it might even be half for Ref Jenny here. So you definitely want to kick this ball out to touch, get some pressure relieved.
Again, we're running, but we are kicking in the end. But that's Dan Sir with a bit of space to attack if he can get to this ball. Heaps of pressure. Oh, Guiducci does so well to somehow collect that ball. But the Zoomies over at first. That's probably not how the Toreros would have drawn up their counterattack.
No, and I think if you're Dan Sir, you have to understand the kicking capability of your opponent, come up a little bit. If he catches that ball clean, that's going to be a real try-scoring opportunity for the Toreros, but instead it bounced twice, and it's going to be a penalty to Air Force.
And that was taken quick again, so a ferocious pace here. Cole Norrie took that quick tap really quick. The Zoomies again on the attack, looking to play out the back. Boswell with a big hit on the 10. That's spilled, but I think backwards. Some big collisions in the midfield. And a massive counterattack from the Zoomies. Let's see what we have here. We might have a conference here with the assistant referee, Jeff Nolan. We have calls for an intentional knock from the Zoomies. My view was obstructed by player share, but we might have seen something there. Long conference here.
But I like seeing this. I like seeing the head ref get things correct, make sure we got the right call on the field here, making sure we're doing things the right way, using your resources here. So AR Jeff, a very seasoned referee, does a fantastic job here, and does Jenny. So they're getting together, making sure they're getting the call correct.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, we'll have the replay here. Let's see if we can see anything. I think the infraction would have been a little bit earlier than this, possibly, that they were discussing, because we do have a penalty to the Air Force. So there must have been a penalty in the preceding phase. Air Force sideline was calling for an intentional knock, so we might have had that.
The signal looked like it might have been off opposing rucker off his feet, so I'm not exactly sure.
That's possible. We might. That kick is really just going sky high, Scott, every time Cole Norrie sets it up. So, you know, if he gets that body over the ball, he might be able to drive it even a bit farther downfield. But we do have an Air Force put in. Both teams have struggled with their attacking line out so far, Scott, so the defense has certainly been winning the day.
Yeah, but the interesting thing, it looks like to me the hookers have actually been struggling a bit more, putting the ball where they want it. It looks like the jumpers done their job. They're getting up in space. They have the opportunity to make a clean catch. Just need to complete that phase here.
All right, here, an opportunity for the Zoomies to get points before the half. That ball, yeah, that looked not straight. Anytime you're hitting that outside shoulder of the jumper, Scott, that's going to be an easy call for the referee to make.
Yeah, unfortunately, the woes continue, so it's going to be halftime here on Manchester Field.
All right, we have halftime here at USD. We've had a thrilling 40 minutes and 40 more to come. Reminder to tell you that USD is sponsored by NFP. USD Rugby is powered by teamwork, both on the pitch and in our partnerships. The Toreros would like to thank NFP for investing in our student athletes and believing in the future of our club. Through their generous support of USD Rugby, NFP has ensured that the Toreros can continue to perform at the highest level. For trusted policy guidance and coverage options, head to nfp.com to see how they can support your business insurance needs. NFP, an Aon company. Scott, you'll like this next sponsor, something that you might have been, you know, a huge fan of back in your day. Now Sports. Now Sports fuels USD Rugby on and off the pitch. Now Sports products are among the best in the industry, backed by world-class research, rigorous development standards, and the use of high-quality ingredients. Whether you're a full-time pro or just getting back into the game, Now Sports has the clean, lab-tested supplements and nutritional products you need, all without artificial colors or flavors. Together with USD Rugby, Now Sports is helping to form champions who compete with integrity. Visit nowsportshub.com to learn more about how Now Sports can fuel your performance. Scott, we had Barry Zeet here a couple weeks ago.
We did.
Not using Now Sports creatine. And we had him cramping up in the second half. We had him getting out slow after halftime.
That's right.
You got to use your Now Sports supplements, or you're not going to be able to go through 80 minutes.
You need it, and I consider myself someone who's been trying to get back in the game for about 10 years now. And Now Sports, thanks to Now Sports, I have a chance finally to get back to my peak from high school, and it's all thanks to Now Sports. Now Sports makes a fantastic product.
He's back, chasing that rush, baby. And we have, finally, the biggest shout-out of the night, our video provider, TVX Sports Video. TVX has been covering sports in San Diego and around the country for nearly 20 years. And they are committed to bringing you the best in live, local, and emerging sports. Smash that like button and hit subscribe to show your support for official broadcast partner, TVX Sports Video. They're the best in the business, Scott.
Fantastic work by Ted and his crew. Always professional, on-time setup. They manage all the technical aspects. They work very quickly. When the rare technical challenge comes up, they're absolutely pros at what they do. They're doing a great job with rugby in California, lacrosse in California, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs in California. Fantastic. So if you've got a big event you got to bring to life, give Ted a call.
TVX, the best. We'll take a short break and be back for the second half. Thanks, folks. All right, we are here for another 40 minutes of D1A rugby on Manchester Field. Someone was flashing, they're flashing the high beams on the other side. There might be Morse code, Scott. I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah, that is very
the
bright.
high beams are flashing us from the other side of the field.
Extremely bright and unfortunately right in our
LED
faces.
lights, and that's another high hanging kick from Cole Norrie. That's a good job by the Zoomies of getting up in the air, but not forward, so we do have Toreros ball.
Yeah, and although the Toreros are bringing a 21-point lead to start the second half, the fitness levels will come into play here, and that's going to most likely favor the Service Academy.
Certainly, and look for the Toreros bench to have a big impact, Scott. Some very impactful players on this USD bench, and that's a high box hit from Archibald. Spilled by the Zoomies. The high beams are really obstructing the view here, but somehow Will Briggs has got the ball. And Archibald now out to Downs, finding space. That's an excellent kick through. But here's that man Wells again. Yep, he's in space. He's breaking tackles. Kellen Archibald does well just to grab a leg there. And Archibald, that might be Downs on the ball. No, good clear out by the Zoomies. But that ball spilled into space. Toreros up on defense.
What a
high
run.
tackle again.
What a return run there by Evan Wells. Just fantastic. And we could see it coming. We know he's going to make at least 2 men miss, and that's exactly what happened. So you got to wrap him up if you're the Toreros. You know that he's a dangerous runner.
Yeah.
So
look at that in space. Breaks the first tackle, breaks the second tackle. And this is good from your scrum half, Kellen Archibald, right? Just getting down and grabbing a leg, and Carlson cleaning things up.
yeah, high flying start here by Air Force. Unfortunately, those I believe it's like a Chevrolet or something out there. Just the brightest headlights in the world. I think it's George Chumo's Chevrolet.
I think it mercifully has been turned off.
Good grief.
So we can get a clear view of the field again. Zoomies line out right around midfield. Some struggles here in the first half. Let's see. And we have the high
This has to be an
on.
impact. This has to have an impact on the jumpers. Of course, they're not going to catch that cleanly.
We might need to call. I don't know who we call. Maybe the Air Force can't do anything about it. The Air Force is here. Maybe
they know
the Navy.
some people.
Maybe the Navy.
Good grief.
We need somebody here to deal with
Coast
this
Guard,
issue.
Space Force.
I think I'm. Let's see. Can we get a zoom in on the car here? That is a Chevrolet.
It's a Chevrolet.
We have the blinkers on now.
Good grief. That was inopportune timing as well.
I'm seeing
as soon as the
stars
jumper's coming up.
I might have a cornea issue. All right, we have Archibald here for a put in. Amongst all that, the ball was spilled to line out. Perhaps, again, the player probably blinded by those high beams.
Yeah, we think it's a scrum here.
Here you have Archibald in. To Downs. Downs to Basson. Basson, the show and go. Basson in space. Does he have a man in support? Basson, the stiff arm on senior night. That's a great carry by the wing. And the Zoomies so quick back on defense, stopping Boswell on his tracks. USD in the right area of the field again now, though. Kellen Archibald looking to secure that ball now at the base of the ruck. Sloppy ball, and that's got to be,
Unfortunately for the Air Force there, they've been very, very good and very, very aggressive, but right there, that is a very easy call. The ruck is one, and I think they're going to have a little conversation to see if this might be a call into the card category. This is an excellent show and go by Chase Basson here, a big pump fake dummy and a nice step in there to get into space. Kevin, back in your day, you were known for that kind of move right there. Do you see shades of yourself?
Yep, the show and go certainly, the step not so much. Would have been looking for support a little bit sooner, but that's really good work from Basson. It looks like we have a scrum only by the Toreros, which is a surprise. It looked like Air Force might have jumped into that ruck, but either way here, we have a great attacking opportunity from the Toreros.
Yeah, Toreros are getting organized here. It looks like Kieran Downs is organizing his troops out here in the right side of the field.
That's stolen valor, Scott. You can't say that today.
I'm sorry,
here we go.
civilians.
Archibald now out to Downs. Oh, that's Basson who spilled it. And here's Wells who could well go 90 meters to score if the Toreros don't stop him.
Yeah, great tackle by Briggs there to harness the danger man. And it was knocked, I believe, is the signal by Ref Jenny.
Yep, coming back to the knock advantage. Chase Basson just couldn't gather that ball in space.
Yeah, and it was a perfect setup right there. It's a blind pop pass by Kieran Downs, a perfect line that would have been 7 points for USD, but instead it's going to be a scrum to Air Force. So although the seniors have had a fantastic impact scoring all 3 of the tries tonight, that could have been 4 for Chase Basson, and let's hope that doesn't come back to bite the Toreros.
All right, so we do have another scrum put in close to their goal line for the Zoomies. They've gotten themselves into trouble so far with their tactics here. We have 2 men behind the scrum here, so perhaps 2 options for an easy exit kick. But we're playing.
Oh, that's a
We're
dangerous
playing,
ball.
and it's dangerous. It's high risk, high reward here for the Zoomies. That's Sasha Cox combining with Brandon Guiducci for a strong tackle. That's Nori with the clearance kick. Perhaps would have wanted a little bit more on that. That's going to be just outside the 22, and another good attacking opportunity for the Toreros.
Yeah, tons of altitude on that kick, Kevin, from the Air Force man, but you know, just maybe not enough distance, and that might play a little bit into the strategy for the Air Force here, trying to maybe opt sometimes for keeping the ball in hand. But you know, unfortunately for them, it's really difficult to run 90 meters on this field.
There's Montague with the ball, setting the maul now for the Toreros. Josiah Laufey now at the back with ball in hand. Oh, man, that's a sloppy ball, but we're getting it out. And that's Basson again, who's made a heap of carries here in this area of the field. Archibald now playing the ball. Couldn't quite see the number on that carry. That might have been Guiducci. Now Sasha Cox. Oh, Dan Sir with the knock. Oh, we might have had an Air Force player offside. As Sir is loudly explaining, I never knock the ball on unless someone's offside in front of me.
Yeah, of course. But, yeah, Coach Purdon at halftime was really behooving his players to take good care of the ball, convert, and be accurate at these parts of the field, because that's been the difference for the Toreros now between scoring and not scoring, frankly. So USC really needs to shore these things up with playoffs coming up.
What do we have here, Scott? What are we doing again here? Looks like we have most exciting play in sports. A tap and go inside the 22 from the Toreros. And we have a little trickery. Kieran Downs slipping right through. And I think he's in there, yeah. Just squirting through there. And we have a little afters here. We have a little afters here. Perhaps not a combat situation the Toreros want to get themselves into.
No, surely not. A big try for USD, and they're fired up here on Manchester Field. That's a fantastic effort by Kieran Downs to see if we can see it on a replay.
Yep, you don't often see your 10 ending up on the end of that on that play. And Cody going fired up, subbed out of the game now for Billy Blackwell. And that's Downs just does so well just to find that little half gap and getting in for the try.
Yeah, twisting and turning his way over for the Toreros, another 5 points, so bringing the score to 26-0 for USD here, and he'll look to convert his own try.
Yep, Cody going now subbed off the field. A really strong, almost 50-minute shift there from the loose head prop. Freshman Billy Blackwell checking into the game, Scott. Exciting young player. Had a really good impact in the seconds 15 game against Cal Poly last week and has earned a spot in the first side this week as Downs converts. Let's see what number 17 and Billy Blackwell can add to the game for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, great opportunity for Blackwell, and a player with a ton of upside, a ton of potential. So very excited for him. We have some Air Force substitutions as well. So we have John Seeger and number 21, Regan Tubbs. What a great rugby name that is.
That's 2 great names coming out of the field. We have Seeger and Tubbs. That sounds like a cop show from the 80s coming in to the game. That's awesome to see those 2 come into the field at the same time. Seeger and Tubbs, let's see the impact they make.
I love it. I love it. Yep. And I'm getting a good look at this kid for Air Force.
Might
great,
be needing
great
a ball here as Jake Peterson looks solemnly down at the ball in his hands.
Hey, Joe!
And here's Jake Peterson called into action. The kick is 5 out of 10. 6 out of 10. Oh, look at that, actually.
Good bounce.
That's 8 out of 10. That's
yeah,
a good kick.
The bounce gives it up from a 5
That's
to an 8.
That's a good kick from Peterson. Another kick here coming from Cole Norrie. He's put so much pressure on Sasha Cox. They haven't won that ball yet, but those kicks have been tough to deal with. As that one goes to Archibald. No nonsense, just going to kick the ball down deep. Perhaps didn't see Evan Wells back there, has been the danger man, so said, but it still might get out here.
Go in!
That's really good from wide Boswell, the big lock in space to bring down Cole Norrie. That's a tough assignment if you're a tight 5 forward. Seeger into the game. That's Tubbs, actually, sorry, at 9 now. Look at this break. Look at this break. Look at the footwork. Nate left. That might have gone backwards. Here we go now. The Zoomies on the attack, Scott. The leg drive. Every time in contact, these guys are not stopping at first contact. Shuffling the ball out now. That's Norrie.
Ooh, big hit.
Met well by Capoost and Guiducci. That's two guys you don't really want to run into too often as a 10. There we go. That's Boswell perhaps sliding a bit high. Yep, referee spotted that. Boswell at 6'6", just not dipping his body enough there to get under it. And the Zoomies, interested to see what they do here. The lineout's been a bit hit or miss. And I think we're going to kick deep and try our chances here. Cole Norrie driving that ball inside the 22.
Yeah, Seeger and Tubbs bringing a absolute shot of energy into the Air Force here. So a great first little burst from the Air Force after giving up that early try in the second half. But now probably their best opportunity thus far tonight. It's going to be a line out with about 10 meters out from the try line.
Yeah, need a clean catch here, Scott, most importantly. Need to keep this ball in tight, go to work. First, the hard part was done, but that ball was loose off the back, but collected by the Zoomies.
It was a clean catch.
Yeah, that's true. The important part was done, but the other part was a little important too. As we have some footwork in the midfield by the Zoomies. There's athleticism 1 through 15, Scott. That's the most apparent thing when you're watching this team play is there's nobody out there who's slow and lumbering. There's footwork, there's agility, there's a drive through contact, there's a fitness level that's clearly there. Torero's not rolling away. Zoomie's going to probably quick tap here with Norrie. Yep. Norrie going himself. I think he's in.
Sure.
That is an excellent job by the fly half. The senior, Cole Norrie, he's been the spark for the Air Force Academy all night.
Yeah, he's been the man of the match for the Air Force so far. He's rewarded with the try. We'll get another look at this, but you saw that he had the tap opportunity there, and then USD's defense is going to be disappointed with this replay. You saw that this athleticism, what happens when you have players that can jump, shake, rattle a little bit, it disassembles the defense. Guys aren't really sure, is this my tackle, your tackle? Should I come in and help out? What's going on here? And before the Toreros can really orient themselves, Norrell's down, dotting it down for 5 points. So credit to Air Force there, continuing this fight like we know they would and getting on the scoreboard here.
Yeah, we have 27 minutes left here, so certainly plenty of time for Air Force to get back into this game. Certainly, like you mentioned, the impact subs there, Seeger and Tubbs coming onto the field. Seeger hitting that first line out, Tubbs providing quick ball, and then Norrie, as he has been all day, converting the try. Just hooked wide there by the 15, Zachary Buckby. Good effort there, but couldn't quite make it. And we have a host of subs coming in for the USD.
I think USD was playing down a man, Kevin. So I just saw
been.
Habib asking for yellow time check. We might have missed that.
Yeah, that might have happened maybe at the end of the first half.
Ball.
All right, well, he's back. That's Josiah Laufey coming out on senior night. Great shift from him. Excellent work for 50 minutes. And that's Max Sines now into the game, another senior. And I think we had another sub coming in with Habib. I think we had Lachlan Hardy come in for Boswell there, playing at lock. Knocked there by the Zoomies.
Play on.
Not seen. Counter ruck coming. Yeah, no, called there from the touch judge.
Good call by Jeff, the ref, there on the sides, finding the knock that was missed. But it was a well-done play by Air Force to get the man up in the air to receive that high reset. Unfortunately, the player wasn't able to catch it cleanly. It looked like it bounced off the head of the man who was doing the lifting. So, unfortunately for Air Force, it's going to be a USD scrum here. But that was a great reset kick. And I think we have Tyler Holmberg in for scrum half here, Kevin.
Yep, Holmberg in for Archibald. the freshman phenom into the game here. Look for him to really push the play here now for these last 30 minutes. Holmberg and Downs have been a really good combination here in the halfbacks. Lots of rugby still to play here. Lachlan Hardy getting his first minutes here for the first team, Scott. So good to see Lachlan Hardy riding a good semester here into some opportunities for the first 15. Let's see what the Toreros cook up here just outside the Air Force 22.
It's another challenge for the Toreros to be precise in their set pieces and their operation to convert these chances into points.
Right you are, Scott, as the packs come together. Half-arm penalty to the Zoomies. That's a killer for the Toreros. Perhaps an early push or an early engage. Let's see what the Zoomies do here, Scott, because you're not going to want to kick the ball out because I think they're outside their 22. So we might have a high, spiral bomb. That's tough to deal with. Let's see who wants that. No, Downs knocks it on. Again, I collected by the Zoomies. Yeah, that's a tough kick to deal with.
That's a great option by the Zoomies there. Like you said, you don't want to kick the ball straight out because that'll come back to the point of the kick.
Ripped out by Lachlan Hardy. How about an impact? Here's Nate Left trying to be first to the ball. It's spilled.
Little kick. Ooh, played it on the ground.
Great job
no, that's
by the Zoomies to collect, but knocked on, perhaps playing on the ground. Helter-skelter stuff there, but at the end of the day, Torero's opportunity to attack here inside the 22.
Yeah, and I thought that was possibly going to be a penalty call for the man playing the ball on the ground, but it seemed like it possibly was not officially.
Yeah, Holmberg put that kick in. Nate Left the speed to get back there, but equally well met. Will Bennett from Air Force getting back, just spilled there, and then I think there you would have maybe called that playing the ball on the ground. But we are going to have an attacking opportunity from the Toreros. I think an early engagement last scrum, so let's hope they clean this up and can attack and maybe push for some points here.
Mm-hmm. And that was a great option by Holmberg right off the turnover there. Spotted that no one was back for the Air Force, so about a 40-meter gain for the Toreros there off that alert play by Holmberg.
Again, some trouble at the scrum here. I think, if you're referee Jenny Liu, you probably just want to instruct these guys to get this ball out clean and let's play on. We probably don't want to have most of the second half, or I guess if you're the Toreros, maybe you do want to kill some time off the clock here at the scrum, but probably want to get this ball in and out and keep playing rugby.
Yeah, especially coming off that half arm, you want to make sure that you can do what you're supposed to do here. Again, Coach Purdon was harping on these guys for accuracy, conversion, scoring points for their opportunities.
Again, we're going down. You'd have to think that's 2 whistles now. You'd have to think the third whistle is going to at least be a half-arm penalty in one direction.
I'm trying to see who Ref Jenny is turning to talk to after blowing the whistle. Looks like these last 2 whistles, she has been turning towards the Air Force front row. So if there will be a penalty call, I would guess it would be coming against the Air Force because the instruction has been given there multiple times.
Yep, here we go now as we are resetting in the scrum. Holmberg to put in. Let's see what Kieran Downs cooks up here in the Toreros back line. Scrum stable. Ball out clean. Holmberg straight to Habib. Habib well met there by the Air Force Academy. Holmberg now to Carlson. Holmberg directing the troops. That's Max Saenz. Getting it close. Holmberg to Habib. He might be in. Yes, he is. That's Paul Habib in for the score, recognizing some space. And a good job by Holmberg of recognizing that, getting the ball. 5 points for the Toreros.
Yeah, it was good effort there by the Toreros, and it goes back to the set piece. It goes back to the scrum. This was probably for tonight the first time they've really been able to execute off the set piece and do what they want to do. So we'll see off this successful scrum here. It was a good strike ball. It was actually Habib on this first phase there, and he did exactly what you want to do in the first phase off a set piece, which is break the gain line and cause all the forwards and backs to have to retreat a little bit and get reset. That allowed Max Saenz to make a nice little gain on his phase, and it was back to Habib. It looks like he got the ball down in that rollover second attempt there, so it was either going to be 5 points or a goal line kick for the Air Force. Unfortunately for Habib and the Toreros, it's 5 points.
Yep, and we have another sub into the game, Scott. Dean Rapetti, no number tonight, a Winter Soldier, coming in for Will Briggs. So Rapetti on senior night going to look to make an impact for USD here in this final 20 or so minutes.
And we have a drop kick attempt here for the conversion, which will go wide. So maybe a little equipment tee issue there for Kieran Downs.
I think the ball just fell off the tee there, Scott. Yeah,
but a fun fact about rugby, if your jersey does not have a number on the back, legally you cannot be called for a penalty. It's true. It's true. I looked it up, and
don't look it up.
Don't look it up. I already looked it up, but it is true.
All right, now we have the Zoomies coming back up, down 33-5. Some strong impact play from the Zoomies all across the pitch despite the scoreline.
Thank you.
Cole Norrie looking to hang up another kickoff. A bit long there. Rapetti, welcome to the game. And here's Downs. That's a really good clearance kick. That's going to get the ball right out to midfield. You can't draw it up much better than that if you're USD.
Yeah, and a huge reaction on the sideline for the fan who caught that ball. That's a tough ball to catch. Both of them, really, that kick by, I believe it was Norrie, it was like a spiraling football pass almost. It looked like coming off the boot. So that's a tough ball kind of getting in there. You see the wind might be impacting that, but a great job by Rapetti into the game, first phase in, make a clean catch, give the ball off to Kieran Downs, and Kieran Downs is going to get you out of dodge.
Yep, absolutely. We have Seeger here, throwing the ball at the line out. That's a good throw, but just couldn't quite connect clean. But we still do have an Air Force retention of the ball. Air Force now looking to work through the phases. Consistently breaking through the gain line are the Zoomies. Out to Norrie now, using his backs. No, that's the loose forwards in space. That's Holmberg on the tackle. The Zoomies, that's Dean Rapetti into the game, making a tackle. That's Cox and Montague connecting there for the double tackle for the Toreros. The Zoomies now, look at that in space. That's the 8-man Brody Kawa with a really strong carry. Cole Norrie now directing his players.
Big hit.
Really good tackle from Habib, driving the Zoomies backwards. Zoomies back to where they started here. Let's see if they can cook something up. Maybe a kick over the top.
Yeah, the Toreros defense is able to get one over here in the aggression side of things. So Air Force needs a little bit of a tactic here to make something happen.
Yeah, Billy Black. And we have another high tackle. The Toreros can't get out of their own way. And Cole Norrie with the quick tap. Rapetti hit by the sniper. Gets up and makes the tackle. Theatrical.
Tactical. It was all planned, but it was lost.
Absolutely. That's Dan Sir now. That ball was stolen at the ruck ever so well by the freshman, Tyler Holmberg. Playing Kieran Downs now. Seeing some space. If that ball rolls, it's something special. Sitting up well there for the Zoomies. And they're on the counterattack now. Little dink over the top. Downs with some good footwork and getting that ball over the top now, but that's Evan Wells. I think I know what he might be doing here with the ball. And that's putting the foot down and running. Great job from Wells to get the Zoomies back to the 10-meter line. Zoomies playing out the back. A great multi-layered attack again from the Zoomies. Chase Basson tracking back well. And now putting pressure on the ruck. Could not secure the turnover, but a good job to slow. And that's a massive double tackle. I think that's Montague and Blackwell combining. The Zoomies relentless again in attack. Lachlan Hardy in over the ball, but we had an infringement from the previous breakdown. We had offside again. The Toreros up on the scoreboard, but certainly behind on the penalty count.
Yeah, definitely they're going to need to sharpen that up for their next matchup. But high-flying action here in Manchester Field. Again, this match has offered a lot of great opportunities to see college rugby at its finest. And that's exactly what we had here. So some great phases, some great scenes here in Manchester Field as we have Vaughn is going to come in for Nate Leff, the senior.
Yeah, Vaughn Fouts coming in for Nate Leff, and Kaz Asley coming in for Torres Capust for the Toreros. Entering the game for the Zoomies, I saw number 19 Wyatt Herman coming on, and I think Casey Ridehead and Nate Haas That's another great name. Nate
Great
Haas
Haas.
coming into the game.
Haas and Seeger, just
So
two guys
interesting.
with
We have a
mustaches.
Wyatt leaving the field for the Toreros, a Wyatt entering the field for Air Force. We have a Nate leaving the field for Toreros, and a Nate entering the game for the Air Force.
Classic swap.
We're
Gen
out
Z.
here. We're out here. We're making it happen.
Yeah, soon there'll be Aidens and Cadens and Jadens in a few years.
USA Rugby patiently awaiting our first Braxton here. And we have a put in here for the Zoomies on the opposition 10-meter line. That's contested well by
In the air.
Montague, but he got the arm there in the air of the Zoomies. That's going to be a penalty. But I tell you what, those Toreros lifters did a really good job of getting Montague high up into the air there.
Yeah, it was a good contest in the air, but once the man is up in the air, you can get the ball, but you just can't go after the man. So Montague there,
He's up.
unfortunately.
As soon as he grabs the arm there, that's going to be a penalty. That's dangerous play. Air Force bench fired up. Another good attacking opportunity. Let's see if Seeger can get this ball in clean here. I haven't seen the Zoomies deploy a maul yet. This would be a good opportunity to do so if they have it.
I'd be surprised to see it. This is a straight-up team. I think we would have seen it by now. So I'm expecting just a very technical, straight-up, foundational play here.
We have a big pod here in the middle. We have our 12, Benjamin Bryant, and we have our number 8, Broderkawa. Two big, strong carriers.
Oh, what do
And
I
look
know?
at that. We have the maul here, Scott, as predicted. And the shove is on.
Oh, my goodness.
Penalty for collapsing. Double whistle. We could have a card here.
Yeah, in repetitive infringements inside of the 22, which the Toreros have done. There's been a lot of penalties against the Toreros here in the second half. And it looks like Ref Jenny
We have a warning. We have a warning. Next infringement will be a card for the Toreros.
I think that would have gone against Kaz Asley, too. That would have been tough because he just came into the game no more than 5 minutes ago.
Yep, so it's so tough to see, obviously, in that maul. Similar to the scrum, there's usually 16 bodies right around the ball there, so tough to tell exactly what's going on. And here we go. Air Force says, anything you can do, I can do as well, as we're going to have a tap penalty play. Here we go. Ooh, almost spilled there. Yeah,
Maybe, Kevin.
I think we had a
Unfortunately,
knock.
knocked on the tap.
What do we have? Perhaps not through the mark. I'm not sure what we had there.
I think they're going to let him do a reset there as the kick might not have been made at the mark of the penalty.
All right, well, so we're going to reset with another penalty for Air Force here.
I'm using you guys. You can hear.
Yeah, consultation with Air Force coach John Warren there. And the Zoomies, perhaps, maybe they ran their best play there, so they're going to say, you know what, we'll just go back to the line out. The maul was moving forward last time.
Yeah, my foot is still in my mouth from that last gaff, so do not underestimate
Let's
your
have your
opponent.
prediction here, Scott.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to go
Let's
over
have
2
your
tonight.
prediction. I predict that Chevy's going to turn those headlights on again, and I'm going to run over there. All right, we have a put in here
Haas to Seeger.
for the Zoomies. Haas to Seeger, I love that. What
The
a play call.
unstoppable play.
What a play call. Seeger here throwing the line out. That Zoomies maul looking good earlier. Toreros get a body in the air. And looks like better defense here from the Toreros. That maul stopped in its tracks so far. Looks
Ball
like
lost.
we might have had a ball spilled. I think the Toreros have it. Or no, the Zoomies have the ball still. Maybe a scrum cap might have fallen off. That's a big tackle there. Loose ball. A lot of bodies in tight here for both teams. USD
lost.
stole the ball. I think that's Guiducci. Kieran Downs in the pocket. No nonsense. Again, that's excellent from Downs. And that's Ken Asley from up top, catching the ball and firing it back into the Now Sports sponsorship. USD Rugby, sponsored by Now Sports.
Sponsored by Ken Asley, too. What an arm on that, man. I know he's going to be watching this one. Great throw, great throw, Ken. Great catch as well.
Yep, so we'll have an Air Force line out here. So again, not the end of the world here for Air Force, but certainly would have wanted to be a bit more accurate inside the 22 there. Another attacking opportunity here. Let's see if they use this big pod in the midfield here. There's 3 very dangerous looking runners there. Let's see what they choose to do. Here's Seeger here, throwing it in. Going to the back, that's overthrow. That's Max Signs with the acceleration. Great carry. Big moment from Signs. Kieran Downs with the cross kick directly backwards, just how you draw it up, and here's Von Fouts. Look at that.
We got a shoe down.
We have a shoe down from Fouts and a high tackle. And a chance for Von Fouts to go to the cobbler and get that shoe refooted.
Yeah, it's a good option by Kieran Downs there with a cross kick, but it all goes back to that heads-up play by Max Signs. If you watch that line out again, you see that Signs had that clocked. He knew that that ball was going to be overthrown, and he put himself in the best position to be the first receiver there. Gained about 20, 30 meters on that overthrow. Would you say
Kaz Aslay-esque?
I 100% would. So he gathers the ball there, and he catches it right there. Some good stop there, makes his first man miss, and goes into contact, drawing about, you see about 6 Air Force defenders around him right there, and the rest of the team retreating to get back on side. So a fantastic play by Signs there into the game.
And here's Signs now throwing in to Montague. Setting up the maul now. I tell you what, both these teams are game for it when that maul is set. Look at that, there's bodies flying everywhere.
The afters.
There's bodies flying everywhere. We have another penalty for USD.
Yeah,
bodies on the ground. Bodies on the ground, but we're back up. Everyone's healthy. This is rugby.
Everyone's checking their cleats. I don't know exactly what the call there was, Kevin, but it was just an absolute chaos there off that maul.
Looks like we're setting a scrum here for the Toreros. I'm not sure if they called for the scrum or if maybe just something happened there and we chose to do a scrum to reset the game.
Yeah,
all of a sudden here, Scott, we're in the 71st minute.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic game of rugby here on Manchester Field, but yeah, you saw that maul break off and then a few bodies kept flying over after the fact. I'm not sure if that was the penalty call or something happened after that, maybe in the tackle. But it looked like the Toreros opted for the scrum here, being as close as they are to the try line.
Quick replay here as we await. Yeah, you know, maybe just too many bodies.
Too many bodies.
Too many bodies, we're going to reset it.
Yeah, great opportunity here for the Toreros. Have to convert this.
Here we go, Tyler Holmberg at the back to Downs. A little grubber through. And Rapetti.
No
Dean
way.
Rapetti on senior night.
Oh, fantastic.
Storybook ending. Getting the ball down. He's ripped the scrum cap off. He's taking a victory lap. Ladies and gentlemen, we still have 8 minutes left in the game. Dean Rapetti, George Chuma onto the field.
That's fantastic.
Pandemonium.
Fantastic try there for the Toreros. So it was a great option there. The scrum is won, and Kieran Downs sees this little lane of space for a little grubber set piece, and Rapetti, the numberless man, just all over it and dots it down. That's hard to do, Kevin, because you're coming up against the dead ball line. So if you run that ball out, that's not going to be any points. You're going to give the ball right back to Air Force.
Shout out Harris Fagan.
So a fantastic job by Dean Rapetti there to collect that kick and to dot it down immediately for the try.
That's Downs over. We have number 18 entering the game for Air Force. That's Mark Hamilton. And into the game, Scott, the final bench player from the Toreros, J.D. Morey, in at loose forward for Sasha Cox. Let's see what he can do at the end of this game.
Yeah, it's great to see both coaches emptying their benches here, giving everybody the opportunity to get some minutes here, get some action, because there's a lot of action, folks, on this field. Trust me. So it's going to be a great ending here. Maybe the outcome has been decided at this point, but do not expect these Air Force guys to give an ounce of quit. It's just not in their DNA.
Yep, love to see the final 6 minutes of this game. Some fresh bodies in the field for both teams. The pace is not going to slow down as that kick goes over the head of JD into the game. And that's Kaz Aslay in a little space, bouncing tacklers, and eventually taken down. Let's see if the Toreros set up an exit kick here. Kieran Downs in the pocket. That's Holmberg box kicking up into the night sky. Chase Basant can't get to it. Brandon Gaducci coming down awkwardly, maybe cramping. Okay, and we have a Zoomies reset now on attack. Teddy Monaco has got through a mountain of work here at lock, making a ton of tackles. Someone illegally over that breakdown there.
Yeah, and that box hit, Kevin, it was so high and it bounced so high. It's like we had 2 aerial contests in the same kick.
There he is again with the quick tap. And he's straight through. The footwork. Dancer with the tackle, but he's close. Man, I tell you what, he's certainly been the man of the match for Air Force. Cole Norrie, been everywhere. And we got to be close to being held up there, Scott.
Yeah.
Held
Penalty.
up, but we had a penalty advantage here. So now we have, again, Air Force Academy. Let's see if Norrie goes for that quick tap again. A couple Toreros still on the ground, and he's off. Here we go. The Zoomies attacking. We're near the 80th minute. I think they're in. It's great to see that from Air Force, fighting to the last minute here.
I believe that was number 13, Micah Freegard.
Yeah, good try from him. Well taken. Again, Cole Norrie, the spark plug. So much intent there from the Zoomies. Just a couple areas where perhaps they didn't quite execute earlier, but you can really just see once they're going on the attack, very hard to stop.
Yeah, Norrie did very well there to recognize that the Toreros were still kind of gathering themselves. Some were still on the ground, so the quick tap was absolutely the correct option right there. And a good carry by Norrie, and then brought over by Freegard with a good acrobatic finish to go over the try line, dot it down, and make this a 40-10 ball game.
Yep, and we have 23 into the game. That's Nate Haas with a monster boot, and it's over. What a kick from Haas. That would have been good from 58 meters out. The sidewinder. You'd love to see that.
Big leg out of Haas.
Been playing for 2 weeks.
Nate Haas from Air Force football team, been playing for just a couple weeks of rugby, but yeah, you could see that from the kick. That thing was going in from anywhere.
Good transferable skills there.
If Air Force gets a penalty on their own 22, they should kick for points and let Haas have a stab at it. I think we should try to break the record tonight. That's an excellent kick from him.
Yeah, Toreros need to get regathered here. They need to stop committing penalties. They need to get themselves into a good position to score some more points.
Oh, we have some Harlem Globetrotter stuff there from the Toreros. But the Zoomies have the ball now. Lachlan Hardy putting some pressure on the breakdown. Max Saenz coming in, eager for contact.
Yeah, more aggressive defense here by the Toreros.
Sam Carlson and J.D. Maury, the loose forwards now, combining. Brandon Guiducci off the field. So the Toreros might be playing with 14 here. Here we go now. The Zoomies under a lot of pressure. We have, I think, a man cramping here now for the Zoomies. These athletes have been going strong for 80 minutes, Scott. These guys are putting everything on the line, going absolutely to the edge of what they're. Oh, and that's a little spill there from Wells. Torero's probably happy to see him down on the ground instead of running in space.
Yeah, a lot of bodies on the ground right here, Kevin, which means there's space for runners and kickers.
And that's Norrie into space. Chase Basson, no. Taken in the air awkwardly. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe both players were going up for the ball, and we might be conferencing with the AR here. That's always a tough call and a tough collision there when both players are eyes up on the ball. That's a high kick from Norrie. Basson looking up at the ball. Yeah, I mean, that's tough. You know, both players have eyes on the ball. We'll see what the referee and the AR decide here, but that's one of the aspects of rugby that can get dangerous, right?
So
that
they're
ball
watching
in the
the ball, Kevin, but you need to make an attempt at the ball, I believe, if you're that defending player. So I wouldn't be surprised if this comes into a final decision of a penalty, but we'll see what happens here. There's a case of the 75s a little bit. A lot of players cramping around here, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what the call is, but again, I believe we will have a little conference to figure it out.
Yeah, let's see what we have here. We might just reset with the scrum. You know, we might just say we stopped the game. It is what it is. We'll have a scrum here and hope everyone's healthy. Chase Basson again might just be cramping up. He might have gone up for that ball and felt that cramp going. So
That's why I don't do my reffing courses. Because
let's see. We're gonna have a.
That was just awkward.
I think we're coming together for a scrum.
Yeah, Bassan is up, which is good.
Or no, maybe a line out, because I think that ball.
Gave them the penalty.
Okay, so I think we do have a penalty to the Toreros. Let's see what they choose to do here. Call probably could have gone either way, but we have Kaz Asley now. Don't think the ball ever hit his foot, but we're quick tapping and playing. Sam Carlson now. Dean Rapetti sealing the ruck. Max Signs. Oh, he's met well by Air Force Max Signs with lights in his eyes on senior night, but that's a brick wall there from the Air Force Academy. Lachlan Hardy drawing in 3 Air Force defenders there. Tyler Holmberg collecting the ball now. Another kick through.
Into touch.
Into touch, but not at the back, so this is going to be a high-pressure situation for Air Force. It's going to be a line out, but they're just 5 meters off their own try line here, so this has to be a clean operation, Scott, if you're the Zoomies. Otherwise, you're probably giving up a try.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation for Air Force, but Coach Purton's going to be really upset with the side again for not converting a great opportunity to score points. I know there's a lot of subs in, but you still need to be effective. You still need to execute, even if you're not in the first 15.
Yep, look for the Toreros to put some pressure here. Lachlan Hardy and Teddy Montague both wanting to get up in the air and steal this ball. And that's Montague up, stealing.
Right back out.
The scoreboard is going, but we'll keep playing.
See a knock.
We were close to a try there, but knocked on by the Toreros. So we'll have one more scrum.
This might be the last phase of play.
I believe final play. Yep, we're gonna have one more play. So the Zoomies here with the option, Scott, right? They can choose to just kick out and play another game, or what I think they're gonna do, they're probably gonna play some rugby here on their own goal line and see what happens.
Yeah, Toreros need to have a good shove here. It starts with the scrum, so I know they've had some talking to before, so it could be an opportunity here to earn a scrum penalty. This would be huge for the Toreros if they're able to earn such a thing.
We might have another issue perhaps here at the scrum once we'll reset.
She's turning towards USD, so it's something on the USD side she's not happy with this time.
Yep, and this is great at the end of the day, right? We have more rugby here for the fans. You know, we're drawing this out as long as we can. This is excellent. We have the opportunity here for the Toreros, like I said, to put the shove on. We have the opportunity here for the Air Force Academy to run off their own goal line, perhaps score, you know, a last-second 100-meter try. Lots of opportunities for all 30 players on the field here. Put in here into the scrum from Tubbs. And we do have Tubbs to Seeger here at the hook. We have a half-arm penalty. Opportunity to quick tap here if you're Air Force. Or maybe they just throw up another one of those very difficult to deal with spiral bombs. No, we're tapping. We're tapping, we're playing. And we're straight through. That's Cole Norrie. Perhaps designs on going 100 meters for a score. Stopped by Max Signs. Teddy Montague again at the tackle. Max Signs pressuring the breakdown. The Air Force Academy, they're just going to keep running phases here at the Toreros. Out to the 10, Norrie. That's a big looping pass. He's found a bit of space there. Ball's gone backwards. Still in the Academy's hands, but I think we've gone into touch there probably.
It's going to do it.
Into the Now Sports banner.
No. Fitting in,
the
unfortunately.
Exclamation point. And I think we have full time, but the Now Sports banner is lying in pieces on the side of the field. But that is your final 40-12 USD over the Air Force Academy. A great display from both teams of heart, of sportsmanship, of intensity, of fitness. What an event.
Yeah, fantastic match really for both sides. So USD will be traveling out to Fort Collins next year to have the match against Air Force. Should be a fantastic relationship between these two clubs.
Great match. We're signing off here on TVX Sports. USD Rugby will be back this semester.